I built the world's largest Minecraft double chest. And for what reason, you might ask? Well, for me, the answer is quite simple. I wanted something spectacular in my world, and I wanted to prove to myself that I can do anything I put my mind to, no matter how big or how hard the task may be. This is my story. Welcome back to my channel. My name is XCman405, and today I am very excited because we are going to be building the teaser that was in the last episode. It was the thumbnail, as well as it was at the very end if you happen to watch all the way to the end. A little bit of a trick I played on you there, isn't it? Didn't see that one coming, did you? But yes, we are going to be building those, and it's going to be for a specific reason. See, I've already picked the location that I want it to be, and you can notice it's in the middle of the ocean. That's because I want it to be a mob farm. I'm going to get started by placing down a cobblestone kind of outline just to give me an idea of how big I really want it, and we'll go from there. For you guys, this will be 1 second. For me, this will be many, many hours. I am very excited for this, though. Let's go! This is what I have for a frame so far, and I think this is as far as I want to go frame-wise, just for this the chest and the blocks underneath. I want to start emptying the water from that cobblestone pillar right there, all the way to that cobblestone pillar right there, that cobblestone pillar right there, and that one right there. I put these ones in and nearly died like 5 times due to drowning and the mobs that this wonderful mod adds into the water. Skeleton swordfish are very annoying, and they always come with drowns with tridents, so it's very hard even with the mega torches. The mega torches are too high, I think, to keep these guys. These guys are annoying. They don't do a whole lot of damage, but when there's like 5 of them around you, man, they push you around a lot, and that makes it really hard to place blocks. So what I want to do is first get rid of this, and I'm going to place a sand curtain along this entire strip here. Now that I'm safe inside my sand curtain, I decided to start filling in the water 100% with sand for some reason, and this is something that I will soon come to regret later on, just due to how absurdly long it took me, and how much sand it actually takes. I didn't realize how much sand it was actually going to take at the time of starting filling it in. Oh, and it seems I've ran out of sand. But the prepared YouTuber I am thought of this ahead of time, and luckily for me, I have a huge stockpile that I think will be more than enough to fill this place in. But boy was I wrong. I'm going to need way more sand than I originally thought. As of right now, I have used almost 78,000 sand, and I'm not even anywhere near done. You can see times used. Not even close to being done. if you want to see, I have, yeah, this is gonna take a while. You know, I thought placing the sand would be pretty quick and easy, but it is absolutely the furthest thing away from quick and easy. I've gone through just doing this sand over 200 diamond building ones. Just let that sink in. Just let that sink in. So we're going to try to figure something out that is going to make this a little faster, I hope. And I'm going to try using these mechanical rollers. So just with the resources that I have on me, I was able to make 48 mechanical rollers. I think that'll do for now, but we might want to expand it later. I don't know. All right, this is what I'm working with. I have a whole bunch of the mechanical rollers here. I set them all to straight fill, so I'm hoping that it'll just, you know. And then I have, what, 9 double chests all full of sand here. So if I go ahead and click some of these, they are all full of sand. And I think that'll be wonderful. So let's lock rotation. And actually, I was going to put a block at the end of that track, but no. We don't need that. Turn that on. And I need a little bit of coal. The one time I need coal, I don't have any. So let me go run back to my house and grab some coal. 3 stacks of coal acquired. Let's see if it works how I think it's going to. No. Most definitely not. Why? I might have just figured out the problem after just looking through the ponder. I think all I needed to do was just set the block filter. So let's go ahead and let's give that a push. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Okay, it is filling up, but not as much as I would like. So let's see if this works. I put a powered rail on the end and a block. So let's see if it bounces back. Does it come all the way back? Ooh, that is dropping my frames fast. Does come back. Is it going to come all the way back, though? Okay. At this point, instead of having the chest, I decided to replace that with the item vault so I can hold more items, as well as I added a bunch of brass funnels on top so I can easily load this. What you just saw it do is place 80,000 sand in a matter of, like, what was that, like 2 minutes maybe? That literally would have taken me like 7-8 hours. Gosh, that is incredible. The only problem with that machine is now I am out of sand. So, what are we gonna do about this? Oh, no. I guess I could just make a crap ton of torches. Which, luckily for me, I already have a crap ton of torches. 411 to be exact. With the ones that I made without looking, I have 667 torches. This will definitely be enough. I'm gonna do the old torch method of getting rid of the sand. I just need to get down here first. In order to clear all the sand, I use a combination between the torch method, where you place a torch under the sand and let it fall and it breaks, as well as a wonderful enchantment on my shovel called Vein Miner, which you're seeing now. It mines a large area where all of the same blocks that are touching get mined. It is an incredible enchantment. And it made clearing the sand actually possible, and it kept me from going completely insane. Okay, so far I have about half of it cleared out, but in order for me to keep my sanity, I need to change gears. And I think the perfect thing to start now is actually the outline, the border, some might call it, of the chest. You know, I am super excited for this actually, because this is where it's going to actually start taking shape. We're going to be using black concrete for the border all the way around, and it's going to be black concrete all the way around. We can see that this part right here is right in line with this. So that means we will just see the one line here on the bottom, but we'll see both lines over here on the sides, the top. Let me go ahead and show you, give you a little example of what I'm talking about. So this is how thick the border is going to be for the entire chest, and we have a lot to go, but that's okay. It's just the start. And that's what it looks like from a bit of a distance. I'm not exactly sure how far away this gap is, but that's what the outline looks like from a bit of a distance. I haven't mentioned this in the video so far yet, but I do play on the Forge mod loader, which does not allow me to use Lightmatica or the replay mod, which is how all of these YouTubers are doing these big, massive builds. So I am freehanding every single block. I took inspiration from the actual blocks, so if some of the proportions or some of the colors or whatnot are not exactly the same, it's because of that reason. But this turned out to be a huge labor of love that I do not regret making. This is by far my favorite build and biggest build I have ever done. Now that I've got the black concrete border all the way around the entirety of the bottom half of the chest, I guess bottom 3/4 of the chest, the part that's not open, because I'm not exactly sure how I want to do that one yet, I'm going to start filling this in to make it look exactly like an actual chest. So if I go over there to this spot right here, and I show you exactly what I'm looking at here to get this pattern, I'm looking right here. I don't know why it's doing that. You can see right there that one pixel is a little brownish, and then the next pixel is darker, and then, or well, next 2 pixels are darker, and then this one right here, those two are the same color as that one, and then there's the one darker, and then two lighter, one darker. So I think like this one is spruce, this one's dark oak, this one is like bamboo. I think these will be acacia, and then I didn't think about this one that's a little darker. So I'll have to figure out something there. Now that I'm looking at this even closer, there are some greens in that. All right, so the materials I grabbed are a great start, but I don't think they will be enough. But let me get started on this, and we will come back once we have a little bit more done. Okay, after a little bit of time, this is what I have so far. I have half of one front done, one side. Let me show you. If I come all the way over here to the other side of the island, you can see it's only one side. Half of one side. So that's an eighth of the actual body, and then I still have to do the top up there. But I think this is looking really good so far. I was having my doubts while building it. I kept checking it, flying in and out, of course, kind of referencing my picture that I have to what the chest actually looks like. And I can show you right now, this is what I'm going for. This right here versus that. I know the colors are a little bit off because I didn't really use all the shades that this has, but the colors are close enough, and I think that actually resembles the chest pretty well. I'm going to go ahead and crack on getting the rest of this face done, and we will check back once this face is done. I'm very excited. I am loving this project so far. I almost forgot to mention too, I stopped the halfway mark so I could mark my smooth stone, so I can have a nice smooth transition between what is one half and what is the other half. So like this whole section here will be one block, and then this whole section here will be the other block, and it's perfectly in the middle. Well, that is not good. I came to the desert to search for more cactus, but there was no cactus around, so I was searching anything and everything I could possibly find. And apparently a creeper fell down on me when I went down into a desert temple, and I died. I just hope that the gravestone did not get destroyed, because if it did, that means I just lost everything important to me. Everything important to me. Oh my gosh, my gravestone. Oh! Oh my gosh! My gravestone. Thank gosh my gravestone was here. I am so happy that that survived. I guess that's a lesson learned, folks. Check your surroundings. Always check your surroundings. Maybe even though I'm not playing hardcore, maybe I should go ahead and get some totems. Like, that was very scary. I did not enjoy that. I don't understand why this desert has 0 cactus. Literally not a single cactus in the entire desert. Unless it's in a village. On my travels to find cactus, I came across a mesa biome. So, in hopes that I would not have to make all the terracotta, I grabbed what I thought would be exactly the amount that I would need, but I was wrong. I will be making multiple trips back to this mesa later on. Okay, I just found... Look at those cactuses! Oh my gosh, I hit the mother load. I just found this little town, and the achievement I got, enter a ghost town. Okay. Okay, moment of truth. I have the first phase completely done. Now, this will be a big moment for me. I don't know what it looks like. I have not seen it fully done yet. As soon as I click apply, click done, and let's both see it together. Okay, I can see it. It is a little weird looking at the same time, but I definitely can see it. I am super happy with that. All right, so now it's gonna be real quick. Well, for you guys, for me, it's gonna be probably another couple hours, but I'm going to copy this exact layout just on the backside. Let me go ahead and get that taken care of, and I'll be right back. And just like that, now both sides are completely done on the long sides, at least. They are mirrored. So on an actual chest, this block right here, this pixel, is actually over there. But I just decided to mirror them because you're not really going to notice. And it would just be a lot more work for me if I was to flip them. Because I'd have to be working over there on this one. And I would have to, like, zoom in. Okay, that's that. And then we got 2 there, and then 2 there, then 1, then 2, then 1. It was just easier to mirror it instead. Now the fun part comes to the sides. So after about an hour, this is what it looks like. I absolutely love this. I think it looks really good. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think of it so far, but we are not nearly complete yet. Let me go ahead and get the other side done, and I will also remove the sand that is left in the bottom so that we can get started on that. And just like that, boom! All the sand that needed to be removed is now removed. That was a massive, massive job. To put into context, this is all the sand that had to be placed and then removed. In total, it is 925,354 sand blocks. Now, this is a little bit of recycled sand too, because if you remember right over here, this is where I started already clearing it out, and I started recycling the sand a little bit. So, we have well over 1 million blocks that went into clearing out the water. And I know there was definitely a lot easier way of doing that, maybe like with sponges and stuff, but I wanted to really show the scale of how big this project really is. And I also, it's kind of a showcase of what you can do with Create, because there's no way you would be doing that in normal, like, vanilla Minecraft. It's just, unless you wanted to spend literally, like, 4 months on just this sand bit alone, the sand bit took me, like, 15 hours, just the sand. And that's with vein mining, and that's with my contraption that placed over 100,000 sand every time it completed a row from the bottom of the ocean here to the top of the ocean, so it's level with the sea level. This is just turning out to be absolutely an incredibly large build, an incredibly time-consuming build, and honestly, an incredibly painful build, because this was not fun. But also, it strangely was. It was oddly satisfying to see all the sand just dropping down and continuously just being deleted. I did upgrade my shovel to netherite so that I wouldn't have to stop as much. But I also got smart. I had the nuggets of experience going to my offhand. So the only reason I needed to stop was to eat, because I would literally start starving to death. As you can see as well, I also did get started on the blocks that the chest is going to be sitting on. Now, the blocks that the chest is going to be sitting on, they're going to be quite plain. And I know. I put the detail into this and the time into that, but I want the chest to pop and not the blocks underneath it, because you're not really going to be able to see much of the blocks anyways, much of the details anyways, with it being underwater. So, we're going to have the top here just be straight stone, and then there's going to be stone on the side, and then it's going to have a black border all the way around to break it up just a little bit. And then right here will be smooth stone all the way down to the bottom, and then we will repeat the same process we did here on the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done, or at least some of it done, and we'll see how far I get. Now that I'm working on the walls, there is a little bit of a problem. It needs to go that much deeper. So not only did I have to completely clear this full of water and sand, now I have to dig it down from, let's see, level -2 right here, or -3 here, all the way down to -21. So that the top and the bottom are 96 blocks apart. Because each smooth stone block that I'm building, it's a 96 by 96 by 96. So, while I'm getting the walls in, I am also going to dig some of this out, and hopefully it won't take me too long. But let's go! All I did here was I made a minecart contraption that will allow me to dig a lot more blocks at once than I possibly could ever do. Now, unfortunately, this is invisible because of the size, but I have since fixed that, so that will not be a problem in future videos. As well as this water here, the water you're seeing, yeah, that's gonna be a huge problem for me down the road. Okay, the walls are completely in. They are as far down as they need to go, because there will be another layer around all of these walls, just kind of for like a decoration, because I don't like the way the smooth stone looks for the inside, but for the outside it looks totally fine. We did go ahead and also remove all of the sand retention walls, so this is what the base looks like now. I know, very plain. But if we go into shaders, it's very hard to actually see what's under the water. So, I don't mind this. I think this actually looks pretty good. So, with that being said, ooh, look at that. That looks cool. With that being said, it is now time to focus on the lid. So, what we're going to have to do first is to make this accurate, we are going to have to put a border all around the top. And then we're going to have to do a border all around the sides here. Something like that. I know it's fast. I'll put a picture up on the screen. As well as I will put a picture up on the screen for the side so you can see exactly what we're working with there. But I think it's time to get crack-a-lackin'. And we officially have the frame done for the chest. What do you think? I think it looks incredible. I personally think that this is the best view that you can have. And with shaders, it's even better. I mean, come on, look at that. That looks incredible. That actually looks incredible. It looks so good. And with these final 4 blocks, my entire build is done. Let's put them in. And oh my gosh. This has been well over 60 hours in the making. Just this chest. And I can't believe it's done. I really can't believe it's done. We go all the way over here to Cow Island, and oh my gosh, it's done. Look at it on the map. Oh, of course the bottom isn't done because that's not part of the chest yet. Like down here isn't part of the chest. It's part of these smooth stone blocks. But oh my gosh, let's go into free cam. I know it's very fast, but look at it in all its glory. It's done! Wait. Wait, no! No, 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 no. I'm missing. I am missing. Okay. So we're not done. We're like 70% done with the build, though, because we still got to build these blocks here. And in case you guys forgot, we have a spawner here and a TNT block here. Now, I need to figure out what blocks I want to use, as well as I need to figure out the actual scale. Let me go ahead and get a cobblestone template in like I did for the chest, and we'll be right back. I'll get them both in. Okay, and here are the floating block outlines. We're going to be starting with the TNT, which is going to be this one over here, because I feel like that one's going to be the easier one to make. So let me go ahead and get that block of TNT, as well as the materials that we're going to need, and we will get started. So these are the colors I'm going to go with. 9 different colors to make up what I see is 9 different colors really here. With the white, I'm just going to keep that the white terracotta here, because I think that'll still look pretty darn good. But with that being said, I am super, super excited to get started. Let's go. So here's what I have so far, and I think this looks absolutely incredible. There's only one problem. My only problem is that this is not a perfect square. So the lines here will not line up with the top of the TNT like it needs to. As you can see right here, the lines go up and then they follow all the way through. So I'm not going to call this a failure. What I'm going to do is call this a learning curve, because this is the first time that I've done something of this scale. So I am going to just put a pretty simple plain roof on top, just like so. I actually love making this. This is so much fun because just look at it. Oh, this looks so good. This looks incredible. So I'm going to do this same design on the ceiling right here as I'm doing it now. And then I will also do it on the floor down here. And that way the ceiling and the floor will both be 100% spawn proof. So hopefully nothing spawns outside of my TNT block here. Hopefully nothing spawns where I don't want them to spawn. So let me go ahead and get this in, and then we will be able to move on to this guy over here. And just like that, the TNT block is completed. Just not what's inside. I did go ahead and add a little bit of an entrance, which kind of takes away from the illusion a little bit from the giant TNT block, but also it kind of doesn't at the same time. And I do need that there in order for me to get in and out. So I think I'm going to leave that and do the same thing right in the middle of this block once it's built. But we cannot build this block yet because I do not have the resources. So let me go ahead and get into a creative testing world to get a screenshot and then figure out exactly what blocks I need to use for this right here. Because remember, this is going to be a giant mob spawner. There's not going to be a mob inside, but it's going to be a giant mob spawner. So let me go ahead and do that, and then I will be right back with a color palette. Here in my creative testing world, I think this is the color palette that I'm going to be going with. We have this color for the eyes, this color for some of the kind of, like the darker tones. We have the black terracotta for the outer bits that are darker. We have the brown terracotta that's just a little bit lighter here, like this, where this will be black, this would be brown. We have the cyan for this part here, and then we have the blue for this part here. Now, I just realized that I am missing this color right here. So let me go ahead and try to figure out what color that is, and I will be right back. So we're going to change this color here, which was going to be the cyan concrete, into the light blue concrete, just to kind of give a little bit of a variation, and I don't think that's going to really be much of a problem. So with that being said, we have our color palette here. Let me hop back onto my survival world, and we will start gathering the blocks that we need. Now, since this is the exact same process that I took while making the TNT block, we are going to skip right ahead to this being complete. I hope that's okay for everyone. And now with this final brick, my entire structure is done. Oh my gosh, this is such a good feeling. This has been such a long time in the making. Like, you guys don't even realize how long this has been in the making. You can see that I'm now on day 1201. I started this on day 975. That is 226 Minecraft days, 4,520 minutes, or just shy of 75 and a half hours. This build took me 75 hours to make. Now, I'm not done because I have to do the interior, and I have to also still do the chest interior, but I'm not exactly sure what I want to do with this. I'm not sure if I want to kind of make this entire thing all black concrete, just to kind of really make it feel kind of bottomless, because it would fit the size of the chest, but I'm not sure. Oh, I also went ahead and grabbed some framed blocks, I also went ahead and grabbed some framed stairs and just made this a little nicer. I think that looks nicer than this cutout there. I did it on both sides, and what's really cool is you can have glass stairs. You can also have glass block of industrial plating stairs, which you normally cannot if you did not have the framed blocks mod, which is awesome. So I think that looks absolutely incredible. Let's get some cinematic shots rolling now. Whoa. Hang on. So before we get to the cinematics, I was doing some thinking. There is a way that we can make gunpowder instead of having a creeper farm in here to get gunpowder. There's a way to make it through Create. Now, in order for me to do that, it requires me to have like 4 other farms, and this one over here, the general mob spawner, is one of them. So, with that being said, I think that I'm going to leave both of these empty for the rest of this video at least, and get the chest figured out. And I figured out what I want to do. I was doing some thinking about it last night, and I figured out that I want to make the interior completely black. And now that the black concrete is all in, this chest is actually looking pretty darn cool. I went ahead and left a little teeny tiny doorway here, and then that way I can get in and out on the bottom, and if I need to get up here, I do have a waystone at the top. But now with this finished, the interior, quote, interior finished, the chest, I think, looks absolutely fantastic. There's my other waystone. I think this looks absolutely fantastic in every regard. And having the blackout makes the blocks just pop so much more. I did go ahead and make a schematic for you guys as well to give you a pretty close to exact number of blocks that it took me. And you can go ahead and look at everything in here. Everything that has the green check marks are not a part of this build. Everything else is. So go ahead and pause as you wish to see exactly what blocks I used and how much of each. But the total count is just shy of 200,000 blocks. 200,000! And although it's not quite 200,000 blocks, the exact number is 198,055 blocks. That's a crap ton. But with that being said, I hope you guys do enjoy these cinematics, and I appreciate every single one of you guys for watching. You mean the world to me. Bye-bye.